Hi everyone, welcome back to another Paint With Me video. Today I'll be working on Crimson Canvas, one of my favorite pieces. Before I start painting, I'll do a quick sketch. It won't be too detailed, just enough to map out the composition and make sure I know where to place each part of the painting. There's also a print of this painting available through the link in my description. However, it won't be from this exact painting. It is from an earlier version I painted before. Okay, now we're going to start painting the sky. I'm mixing white with a bit of yellow, and I'm also preparing another mixture of blue and white, one in a lighter shade and one in a darker shade. Starting from the left, I'm applying the darker blue mixture first, then blending it into the lighter blue. Finally, I blend in the yellow-white mixture to add warmth to the sky, since the sun is coming from the right. Now I'm mixing yellow with a little white to create the cloud. I'm just placing them in without worrying too much about their form or shape. Right now I'm just adding the base color. For the lower part of the clouds, I'm adding some lemon yellow in certain areas. Based on my reference, I think this part is highlighted by the sun. I'm also introducing some color variation by lightly adding orange to the upper parts of some clouds, but not everywhere, just tapping it in certain areas. Additionally, I'm mixing the orange with leftover blue mixture on my palette to create another subtle color variation for the clouds. Next, I'm using a very watery yellow mixture to slightly tint areas of the sky that feel too bright. This will help bring a warmer tone to the sky. I know it might not look very balanced right now, but as we add more elements, the colors will start complementing each other. Now I'm painting a distant low hill using a mix of a little black, a little blue, and some white. The white keeps the color from being too bold since it's a faraway hill. I'm also mixing a pinkish purple color, more like a rose. that slightly pinkish, slightly purplish shade. I'm combining it with white and black to create a soft tone. The mixture is very watery because I find it easier to control the pigment that way. As we get closer to the sun's position, the colors of the low heel will become lighter. That's why I'm adding more white and yellow to the mixture to create a subtle atmospheric effect. For the flowers, I'm using an orange base but adding a slightly darker shade to give them more depth. At this stage, I'm just laying down the base colors and I'll refine the details later. On the right side of the field, the color will be more yellow, almost the same shade as the cloud. And in the far right, I can see some patches of grass, so I painted it green. Now I'm also laying down the base color for the grass areas, mixing green with a slightly darker shade. I'm mixing my green with the flower color I used earlier to add some shadows and texture to the flower field. Then I'm mixing black, yellow, and a little green to add some subtle details to the distant grass areas. For the foreground, I'm using a darker mix of black and green to paint grass strokes. I'm also adding a tiny strokes in the midground to maintain the sense of depth. Now I'm lightly highlighting the distant flowers with an orange-yellow mix. This isn't the final highlight, just a soft touch to make them stand out a little more. Finally, I'm switching back to red to paint the individual flowers that are clearly visible in the foreground. This red serves as the base color for the flowers. To add more variation, I'm mixing red with orange and lightly tapping it into different areas of the flower field, creating a natural blend of colors. For highlights, I'm bringing back the lemon yellow and applying it in certain areas of the field. To make some spots stand out even more, I'm mixing lemon yellow with a bit of white for the final highlight. Now I'm painting the centers of the flowers using a mix of red and a little black. Then I'm adding highlights to individual flowers by mixing orange with a bit of red, just enough to be lighter than the base color. I'm also scattering some highlights across the field to keep it balanced. To make the flowers feel grounded, I'm adding shadows using the same dark red mixture I used for the flower centers in the foreground. I'm refining some details in the distant trees, slightly darkening them to create a stronger contrast. For the brightest highlights on the flowers in the foreground, I'm using a mix of orange and more yellow. This creates the effect of sunlight directly hitting those areas. Now I'm going back to refine the distant trees a bit more. And then returning to highlight a few more flowers in the field. That's the end of today's painting. I really love how this piece turned out. Even though I love this version, the print available in my description is actually from an earlier version I painted before. So yeah, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.